Today we have no audience.
We have no audience.
They're asleep.
Everybody's asleep.
Everybody's asleep right now.
Sleep.
Woo!
Morning.
Morning. So how was everybody's weekend?
Oh, wow.
What's the gate code there?
She can tell you in the office
Right
there.
Last night we used it and now we couldn't use it. Surprise.
I love shooting.
Right.
You know, the funny thing is she doesn't even know we're on the air. That is actually pretty hilarious.
Right. Impromptu
volume
moments,
on this
right? Good morning to the Queens.
wow.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Oh my goodness. I hope you guys had a great weekend.
Oh.
We are always happy to bring a morning broadcast to you live from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every morning. Facebook Live. Yes, so I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. We Queens actually got a chance to go to a Christmas networking event.
We did unfortunately, there was video everywhere
Yeah.
of that event.
Oh my gosh!
Never, ever, ever do karaoke when you're at a producer's party because there are cameras literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And apparently I went live on the internet at one point in time. And needless to say, a little bit later on, I myself had a few drinks. And, so yeah.
The Irish
needless to say,
came out,
I
everybody.
went-
The Irish came out.
the Irish did come out that night. In fact, I've been outvoted completely 100% with this American accent thing.
Yes,
So in a
you
minute,
have.
I'm going to switch and have to stay over to the Irish accent. I'm required.
Yes, we require it now.
But any rate, yes, I apparently went live and caught a bunch of us on camera doing karaoke.
I didn't know you went live with that.
I did. Bohemian Rhapsody went
Okay.
live. I could not. I heard the song coming on, and I saw who all was gathered to get this.
Is that the one
and-
where you're doing the da-da-da-da-da-da?
Yeah,
and
that
the
was where we were
flying?
the head banging, and my pink Sandy
Oh,
hat
you
went
went
flying.
there.
Oh,
She
we
went there. She went there. Her
We
hat went
there.
flying.
Yes, it went
I found
flying.
the hat though.
And it eventually ended up on a guy who was out in the backyard getting a massage from the massage therapist who was at the party.
Exactly. So yeah.
So this is actually...
It was a great party though. Like I had fun. It was food. It was drinks. It was great company.
Oh man, people were just so friendly, so awesome.
Different walks of life.
Different, totally. Hey, you guys got to try cheese from England. They had cheese from England there. That is like,
It was definitely different.
it was really good. And
was-
she's
it
let
was
me take
really,
some
really
home.
good.
And so when I took some home, I gave some to my boyfriend's like, this cheese is a bomb.
Right. Right.
He's like, we got to order this. I'm like, yeah, it's going to cost a fortune to come over from overseas, but it's all good.
Yeah, so we got to do that more often, ladies. Get out together and
Yes,
go
we do.
We
celebrate.
do. Somebody was working last night during a huge networking event. So
I know.
You got to quit working Sundays. I'm telling you.
Oh, I can't. My client base would totally shoot me if I did, let me tell you.
All right. So good morning to all, and yes, I got completely 100% outvoted on the accent thing that happened at the party.
Oh wow!
Exactly.
And for those that are really, really familiar with me in production world, they've all heard the accent on a regular basis. So I guess I'm going to switch over and stay to the Irish accent, and that's the way we're going to do the show from now on. Because if I don't, then I got a lot of producer friends out there that just ain't going to like me very much. So we'll stay into the Irish and just let it be done.
And then I'm going to kick your arse if you don't.
Congratulations!
Hey, I'm a little bit sassy. I got the pigtails going on
Yes,
this morning. See the podcast?
She's sassy.
So a little bit on the sassy side. So yeah, you guys share the video. Of course, I am still in share jail, so I can't really share outside of my own timeline. I can't put it all in the big infamous groups that I've helped create or have created over the years. So yeah, it's a pain in the butt. So if you guys would share, especially this episode, kind of like David's episode, which by the way is well over 12,000 views.
Keep sharing that, you guys.
Yeah, keep sharing it. It's going into a viral stage of life, I guess you could say, which is pretty wild.
Yes.
And we want this one to go viral as well because our host, our guest rather, on the show today pretty awesome people, and
Yes,
we're not going to
they
tell
are.
you. Well, they're the misfit missionaries, which is a bunch of comedians that go down into the tunnels of Las Vegas, all over the place, and they help
Yep.
with the homeless. So this is going to be a really, really awesome show. You guys are going to get to hear about how this was founded and why and this and that. And here again, it's a bunch of comedians doing it. And there's also something that, Shogun, it's also something that I've been running a small docu-series on.
Yeah.
So, and we'll be filming out there again this Tuesday night. Myself and Queen G will be out there.
Tomorrow, you guys,
tomorrow
please
night,
tune in
so-
to our
I
live.
get off early. I'll be calling you guys from work.
We'll be
Where you at?
in the tunnels tomorrow night. I was telling my audience before this show started this morning, I'm kind of torn about going in there, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, because I'm a big old crybaby.
It's a life-changing
I'm
experience.
very
You have
It is
emotional,
very
to-
life-changing.
you know. But I know that it's a must-do. I know that this is one of those type of things that you have to, take this challenge head on. And I would love to meet some of the families and the people that are
Yes.
under the tunnels that are going through the homeless experience. Because I've been there. I've been there. I lost a lot of things. We're going to talk about that later. I'm not going to give that testimony right now. But I've lost a lot of things this past year. And I'm not going to say what I'm going through, but
No.
I will say that I still know that in spite of all that has happened, that I am very blessed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
there is always someone worse off than you.
Yeah, there's always somebody worse off, way worse off. And,
Way
and when you
worse.
go down there, you realize just how bad it really is. Like,
Yeah.
when you see it on the street corner, somebody walking around with a little sign, it doesn't necessarily look like it's that bad. But it truly is. Good morning to everybody. And Charles Baker, message me
Hey.
after the show, and I'll tell you where to meet us tomorrow night. And you're welcome to join us within the tunnels. Charles is
And
a huge
anybody
influence,
else? Anybody
political
else?
influence,
Yeah.
so you are definitely welcome to join with us.
And anybody
Charles
else
has
who
been
wants to
co-hosting
go?
with us as well on
Yes.
the show, so you're definitely welcome. We would
Yes.
love to have you join us for that life-changing event tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
But I did
And
it
you
again.
guys-
I lost concentration for a moment and went back the other way. So
yeah,
I've used the American accent for so long. it
We're
just
gonna
comes
put a
out
little
natural.
coin jar up here, and every time she forgets, she's gonna put a quarter in.
Oh Lord, that's
me
probably
and
gonna be a
Lacey
lot.
have this thing where we look at each other, and then that's when our ideas come. So what you just saw was a lapse of her remembering that she has to be Irish. Me and her do that all the time. Like, that's how I get all the perfect show ideas and everything.
Yep.
Exactly.
And yes,
And I come up with the wild ideas.
and yes, Christina Romero. They literally
Accent.
live underground. She's going to be doing that a lot because, as you can see, I get focused on something. But they literally live underground, and that's no joke when we say that. And it's dangerous.
Very.
It's a dangerous way to have to live, especially here in Vegas. We know when the rains come, then we get a lot of the flooding, and it can flood them out. And if it happened in the middle of the night while they're sleeping, they could easily die while they're down there.
Right.
And so this is a problem that we're showing in the docuseries, and the misfit missionaries are helping them out and trying to get the word out, because something has to change about this whole situation. It really, really does. And they're going to tell you a lot more about it. But yeah, it has to change because of just how dangerous it truly is. And it's not just that. There's more dangers than just that. And then they're going to tell you some really wild stories about all this. So yes, they do literally live underground.
Like, if you think about it, who would rob a homeless person? But those are the kind of issues that happen.
It does happen.
It does.
It does.
You
We don't
know,
have anything to
who would do that? That's like so below the earth to take the little that someone has.
And take it away
You know
from
what I mean? But and then it's not legal
No.
for these families to live under the tunnels either. So we have the issue of the coding and ordinances of Las Vegas. They get ticketed. They get jailed. All of these things are some of the issues also that are happening with our homeless families, and it's very, very sad.
Yes.
Very.
So
It's crazy. We can sit there and see these shows from overseas. Oh, send money overseas to the children, to the families, whatever. Why can't we do it in our own backyard, people? Okay? This is our backyard. This is our people. We need to
help
focus
them
on.
out.
We need to help them out, you know? I know you want to donate because they show all the kids, but think about here at home.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you don't see.
Yep. No.
There's a lot of stuff I don't
And
see.
speaking of donations, you guys, if you want to get donations to us to take to the families tomorrow night, please inbox us on Morning Tea with the Queens.
Absolutely.
And we will make sure to either link with you or something to get these items to the homeless families. We're going under there tomorrow night. So if you want to donate water, food, clothing, blankets,
Some
hats,
hygiene,
hygiene
gloves,
products.
socks are huge. Socks
Yeah.
and underwear.
Yeah.
Those are a few of the main ones.
Please make sure that they're, new or
new, yeah,
very washed.
washed at least. Yeah, so don't be taking your stanky socks off, throw them in the bag and say,
Yeah,
no, I ain't having
yeah.
it. Do your laundry first.
Because you wouldn't want to give your hand-me-downs. I mean, you think about it. You want to give someone that's in need the very best that you can give them. Don't, go to the lowest of low and hand them raggedy, type of things. Like, I wouldn't do that. That's my personal opinion, I guess. I wouldn't do that. If I was to give to someone that does not have, I would try to give them my best.
Exactly.
Yep. And I'm not worried about saying any of this on air, to be honest. I'm like the IRA. I'm a rebel.
Right.
I am Irish and I am a rebel. And I'll tell you what, I'll say it all the time on the air. Speaking of Charles there, give to the homeless, and you can drop your donations off to us, and we'll make sure they get them. Or if you want to go down in the tunnels with us, let me know, and I'll guarantee I can arrange that so that you can go down there. And I'm not done with the city government yet. I've only begun to start with them because I want to know what happened to the big project that was supposed to happen a few years ago up 95 North to help with the homeless, because Reno has the greatest program ever for the homeless. And the funny thing about that is they were going to do it here, and I want to know where the money and everything went for that program.
Probably wouldn't
So
that sluff fund.
I'm not worried about getting in their faces. You want to arrest me? Fine, put me in jail for a few days.
We'll
Let's give
shoot
it
from
on.
the jail.
That's fine. I'll shoot from the jail. I mean, come on. Like, literally, I will have the camera crews, and it's my right to my freedom of speech to have the crews come in. And then again, they've got the cop series that they run out of the county jail, so I'll be happy to get on the camera there.
There you go.
And I'm not afraid to get in somebody's face over it. It's a problem that has to be solved.
I want to shout out the crews and the teams that go into the tunnels to bring awareness to this problem that we have in Vegas. I'm just moving here probably about 4 years ago. As you guys know, I'm originally from California, and they have the mission and stuff downtown where the families lay on the solid concrete.
Ooh.
And they make patlets, and you've seen people at the bus stops where they've spent the whole night bundled up in a sleeping bag. It's a really bad problem all over the world, but you guys, this town is not that big. So if we join together like we did on October 1, the issue with the shooter and stuff like that, if we got together and we put our resources together as a city, then it would make a huge difference with the homeless problem here.
Yes, it would.
Some of you who go into your house every day and you close the door and you do your own random day-to-day things, you have to begin to think differently and start to extend yourself out beyond, who you are and what you have. Because what we have could be a world for someone that does not have.
Entire world,
You understand? So I want to just put that on your minds this morning as we get ready to have this episode and the guests that come on in a little bit. I just, it's a really bad problem, and I'm very passionate about it because I've been homeless before, have lost it all, have regained it all. And when you're in that position, people treat you like crap, and I'm trying not to cry.
It's okay, Chloe. But they do, and she's right about it.
And I'm trying not to cry because, and I've never done this, but people treat you so bad.
They do. They treat you like
And
you're a second-class citizen, and it's freaking ridiculous.
It's nuts.
They act as if you don't mean anything, and it's like, whatever, okay, you're going through something and you're homeless, whatever, I'll just keep pushing. When all sometimes they need is a hug, or they may need you to offer them to take them somewhere, like offer a ride. That can make a world of difference in a person's life that does not
you'd be
have.
surprised.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, y'all, for getting emotional, but
Hey,
I've
it's
just
all
been
good.
there in that position where I've lost it all, and people really, really treat you like they're under their, like you're under their feet.
Exactly, they do.
They do.
You know, and they treat you so bad. So stop doing that. Stop doing
Treat
that.
each other with kindness.
You know,
I mean,
you can show people a little bit of kindness.
It's not going to hurt.
A few mornings ago, last week when we were doing one of the live shows, I very rarely go out in the morning before I come in for the show. I'm too busy getting ready and everything. But for some odd reason, I had this weird instinct, and this is called following your gut instinct. But I had an instinct, and I wanted to walk down to the Terribles to get a fresh cup of coffee. And I never do this, especially first thing in the morning. It's kind of cold out there, and I don't like the cold very much. So I walked down, and on my way back, about halfway back between the store and here, there was a guy, a very tall guy. You could tell by his clothes that he was not very well off. And he was good 25, 30 feet away from me, and he says, I hate to even ask, but I'm just trying to get some bus fare to get home. And he had his little medical bracelet on and his paperwork, and he said, I just come out of the hospital, and I need to get back to where I live. And I said, where do you live at? And he literally named off one of the tunnels here in Vegas. And
wow.
I said, you know what, I can hook you up. And I reached in my pocket, and I gave him my last $20 bill. Right. The last thing I had until the end of this week when I get paid again. And it's like, here, take that. And the tears in his eyes, they just came down. Because I don't think he expected it. The way he was saying it all nonchalant, he wasn't expecting a thing. But I gave it to him. And you know what? It probably, potentially, as cold as it was that morning, might have even saved his life a little bit more from being back in the hospital again.
Oh, yeah.
Because the guy was freezing to death, and you could see his arm was bandaged, but they had the IV in him. He wasn't all that well off to begin with, but at least the 20 got him bus fare home, and he probably got some food and something hot in his
They need a warm shower. They need...
That's what I had an experience. I don't know if it's still on my Facebook page, but I think it was a week. I was driving from my house for a week, and I was going every day to work or school. I think it was during school, and I noticed this man standing on the corner of Cheyenne and the I-15 exit. He's there every day. Finally, one day, I pulled over, picked him up, put him in my car. And that he was, I didn't care that he smelled nothing, and I asked him, I said, where are you going? Well, he only lives in St. George, Utah. Now, he's been out here for 7 days. St. George, Utah is what? 3 hours away.
3 hours away.
And he's been to truck stops and everything, trying to get a ride, and nobody would help this poor old man. This old man just wanted to get home to his family because they couldn't come get him because he had no cell phone, because he came here with some people, and they took everything. Took all of his stuff and left him stranded in Vegas. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take you. I'm going to get you a shower and get you all cleaned up, and tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and take you to St. George. He was ecstatic. So I went to the truck stop, and I told him, I said, I'm going to leave him here. I'm paying for him to have a shower, and if he wants to eat or anything, when I get back because I'm going to go buy him some clothes, when I get back, I want you to, I'll pay for it. So I left, went to Walmart up the road, and got him some clothes and a backpack to carry the stuff in. And then I got back to the truck stop, and he was standing outside, and he was all nice and washed, and I gave him the clothes. He went and changed, and I go back in to the guy, the manager, and he's like, no, we fed him, we paid for his meal, we paid for his coffee, and we gave him some money. And I was like, well, thank you. And they're like, well, we love that you helped him. He goes, we would like you to help other people. I guess apparently there's other homeless people that come into the pilot station. One guy on Sundays, he just wants a job, but he's like one of the smartest people. So I'm going to try to see if I can catch him and help him. But I drove this man all the way to St. George after a friend of mine helped me to put him in a hotel for the night, which when I got to the hotel, he is so used to being on the ground that he was not sleeping in the bed. It was like saddening for me.
Sleeping on the floor?
He was sleeping on the floor of the hotel. So I took him to St. George to where his family was, and they were ecstatic to see him. They thought he was dead. They didn't know nothing. And so, it's things like that. And so every time I leave somewhere, if I see somebody hitchhiking or whatever, I'm going to pull and stop.
Absolutely.
Everybody's like, well, that's dangerous. No, it's not.
It could mean the difference of life or death in
life or
somebody's
death
life.
business,
It could very easily.
It's like, driving by an accident and not stopping to help somebody if there's nobody there to help.
That's right.
It's
and
ridiculous.
I want to take a moment and thank all the angels that are walking around on earth that take a time and take a moment to, I guess, accept that part of life.
Exactly.
That,
Exactly.
you know, we may, on a day-to-day basis, look over. There have been angels that have looked out for me in my life. And I don't know why I'm so emotional today, but I just want to personally thank the angels,
It's an emotional subject.
you know, that have taken the time to say to me, in spite of who my brother is, in spite of all the things they think that I have, I want to take a moment and say thank you to all who look at me and they can tell in my eyes that there is something deeper going on beyond what they see on the outside.
Exactly.
And they say to me, "Are you okay?" You know what I mean? I want to thank those angels on earth that know me to the point to know who I really am.
Exactly.
And if you got questions
You know
or
what I mean?
comments, exactly. If you got questions or comments for any of the questions or for Queen G herself, that's 702-776-9097. And again, 702-776-9097. Feel free to call in live on the show here. I agree. I don't care if somebody believes in the Bible or not. The idea of the phrase "beware how you entertain strangers, lest you entertain angels unawares." It doesn't matter whether you believe in the Bible or not. That's just a common phrase that would be common to everyday life.
And not many people have probably heard that phrase either.
Not many people have heard it, you know, and I don't quote the Bible that often, but every now and then I do, and it's like, yes, be weary how you entertain strangers, lest you entertain angels unawares.
Exactly.
You never know
Exactly.
what the universe is going to put in your path, you know, and who they're going to put in your path.
Oh, yeah.
And be careful also of how you treat people when they're down, because what happens is right around the corner of them being down is them coming back up.
Exactly.
So what happens is there's a flip to it. You know, you're not going to always be in that position or always be down. So you have to be careful at how you treat people when they are in, I guess it's called a lower stand of life, or the standard that you don't see fit.
Right. Exactly. Substandard living.
Right.
That's what the phrase substandard living.
Substandard living.
And a lot of situations that happen, I will say, are circumstantial. It could be due to someone losing a job because of their health, or it could be due to someone losing everything that they have due to just the finances just imploding on them.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, and getting to the point where you cannot handle everything. And there's a lot of times homeless people are homeless because it's circumstantial.
Yes.
It's not because they're retarded or dumb or can't think for themselves or anything like it. It has nothing to do with that.
No, it doesn't.
A lot of times it's circumstantial.
Yeah, I remember years ago back home in Huntsville, Alabama, and I'll try to shorten down the story a little bit, but there was this one homeless guy that everybody saw every day. You know, he was hard of hearing in one ear, completely deaf in the other, very tall black guy, about 6'6", I think he was, but he was very, very tall. And, you know, people kind of treated him rude, and some people did, and some people didn't. But what they didn't know about the guy is that all of the cans that he was collecting, and granted, he wasn't all there in the head, which is why he was homeless in the first place. Nobody would hire him, nobody would give him a place to live, etc. But all of the cans and the money that he was making off of that, he kept putting into a bank, kept putting into a bank. And finally, one day when he died, they opened up the account, which had a will attached to it. Oh my God, he left over $20 million to the children's shelter there in Huntsville, Alabama. There was one other one to go to the flip side of that. There was another guy, short little white guy, wore this funny little straw-looking cowboy hat, homeless, and he pushed his cart around, and he pushed his cart around, and so on and so forth. And I took the time to talk to him, and I kind of knew a little bit more than most people did. But at the time of his death, the big article comes out in the paper, and it was a whole list of names of people that took the time to be nice and talk to him and donate $1 or $2. And what they didn't know is he wasn't spending that $1 or $2 on himself. He was turning around and giving it to other homeless people. The man had all of the money in the world that he needed. He was a stockbroker for a great many years. Many tens of millions of dollars. I forget the total dollar amount. It was close to like 100 million or something. But at any rate, all of the names of the people that had took the time, and that wasn't the very longest list in the world, they each got $10 million from the guy. And then the rest of his money went again to the homeless and the charities there in Huntsville. But he put himself in the position of being homeless. He didn't.
He did it.
It wasn't
on
because
purpose.
he did it on purpose, and it was something that set him off in New York with some homeless people up there.
Oh.
And he realized how unfortunate they were versus how fortunate he was. So to understand it, he decided to devote his life to living on the streets. wrote a book.
Wow.
The book to this
See?
very day, I cannot remember the name of it. I'm going to find the name of it and let you know in a later show. But to this very day, the sales from the book go to the homeless charities throughout the state of Alabama.
Nice. That is awesome. It's amazing what just putting that little bit of spare change in a jar does.
Exactly.
Or savings in that. So we're encouraging you guys to help take care of this problem that we have in Vegas. Show everybody around the nation, the world, that hey, Vegas is doing something to help. Why don't we get into our pockets and help our homeless in our city?
Especially
so let's
this
make
time
this
of
a
year.
huge, especially during this time of year. It's really, it's cold. It's extremely cold.
Yeah.
It is.
And let's put the words Vegas strong. Let's put that into
Vegas
motion
strong.
and unite and do the very best that we can to, get rid of
I
this
agree.
homeless issue and problem. And
Yes.
if you guys want to talk to us, join with the queens and try to come up with a solution, we're definitely all in for
We're
that.
all in for it.
Absolutely.
I have one idea. I think once a month we should throw. Remember, I sent you guys the video about that Korean restaurant that once a month or once a week they shut down after lunch, cook a ton of food, and go and feed the homeless in their city.
That's awesome.
I think that should be our goal. We should do that once a month or once a week, whatever. Have a restaurant step up and help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feed the homeless.
the
That's going to be my
homeless,
mission.
etc.
I'm coming for your restaurants. I'm coming for you. I'm going to come in there. Let's do this. Come on.
Watch out.
I'm sorry.
It's time
I get
to
excited.
Introduce. I'm gonna have you introduce them.
It's not quite time yet.
Oh, not quite.
But I do want to make a mention of something that we over the weekend. I set up the web store for the merchandise for the official Queenette merchandise, and so we're on coffee mugs and T-shirts and sweaters and hoodies and bumper stickers and all kinds of things. So one thing I do want to mention before we bring our guest on this morning is that we are going to collaborate with the Misfit missionaries into a design for hoodies and coffee mugs and so on and so forth. And if you guys buy any of those collaborated designs, one half of those proceeds will in fact go over to them and to the homeless.
Yep.
So I'm putting that out there. Watch our post for the web store and the special products to come out. You guys will know it when you see it because it'll have the Queens and it'll have Misfit missionaries on it. So this is going to be an awesome thing, and I think that's going to be great for the community, and it's definitely going to help. It's definitely going to raise money to help the homeless. Also this morning, I don't know if she's watching or not, but hopefully Julianne Yaks and her mom are watching. We got a special little surprise for you guys as well. Mary Weishar, thank you for watching, and thank you for all of the scarves that you're crocheting for the homeless.
Yes, thank
We're
you.
looking forward
Yes.
to being able to give those out.
I think
So
she's ahead of
you're
me
a
in the
blessing.
scarf game.
She might be a little
She
bit
might be ahead of me in the
Decide.
scarf game. I'm going to catch
And
you,
those
Mary.
scarves
I'm
are
gonna catch you.
beautiful. I saw the.
Oh, that
You saw the picture?
Yeah,
She
gorgeous.
was
really
Yeah.
gorgeous. I
You're
got
doing an amazing
competition.
job.
I got
She does.
competition.
Like I don't have a lot of time to do it, but the only I can crochet a Tunisian knit stitch,
Okay.
which is to me a lot easier than a regular crochet. I can't turn and make it look right. It all kind of bunches up and whatnot. But with the Tunisian knit stitch, I can actually go in straight lines. And I do have scarves. I'm a lot slower than Mary is, but I do have scarves that I'm also making for them as well. I looked up a pattern the other night, and I'm actually going to try making bonnets for them.
Oh,
so
there you go.
hopefully that'll work out. Any rate, let's give a nice warm welcome to Doc and Teresa of the Misfit Missionaries. Woo!
Here, we'll
Scoot
do
some
this.
chairs.
We'll get a couple chairs here. And don't worry, I got it covered.
All right.
All right.
I need a PA
How you
desperately.
want us to?
That's fine. You can sit right there. She's going to grab another chair. She'll be a little bit higher up.
I'll be a little higher. Yeah, a lot higher. Woo! I can reach
Good morning,
the
Doc.
shelf.
Thank you for
Everybody on
having
camera.
it. Thank you for having it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
We have Doc and we have Teresa, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves and
Teresa
tell,
one, Teresa two.
tell them a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Doc.
I'm known as Doc Love. My human name's Arthur McClellan, and that's my lovely wife, Teresa. We wanted to do something to help the homeless that was unique and different, that would catch people's attention, because most people don't pay attention. And
That's true.
I'm not here to beat up people that walk by homeless people, because I used to do it myself. I mean, when I was younger, I'm like, what? I was the kind of person, why don't they get a job? Until I sat down and talked to a homeless person and really got to know them. That's very simple, simple thinking. So we were just literally out for a jog. We were helping this homeless man in our neighborhood, and I came up with this idea. I'm like, why don't we go out there and go in the tunnels, go wherever the homeless people are. And I was doing some stand-up comedy at the time. I said, we'll bring our idiot comedian friends with us and see what happens. And I was doing some stand-up. I did the same thing. Just
Yeah,
Sometimes it's easy to
the volume
forget.
down and it went back up on the
I know.
phone or something.
It's your phone. It's iPhone. They're haunted.
Yeah.
So I came up with this idea, and I told Teresa as we were out for a jog, and she says we could take it all this way. And ironically, one of our biggest contributors has been the Las Vegas cannabis community too. So
Very awesome.
we're called Holy Smoke Misfit Missionaries.
Okay, so
I
yeah.
see. That's what I told one of my clients about you, and he was like, "So he's probably going to go to your website." But he was like, he was amazed.
Yeah, and the reason I did that is I am an advocate for cannabis too. For we have a missionary who's a reformed meth addict that uses cannabis as his medicine. Alcoholic, that's one of our comedians that uses cannabis as
Right.
And I thought it'd be a unique way to catch the millennials. Let's face it.
Absolutely.
We don't care why we catch their attention as long as they pay attention and
Exactly.
they can learn.
Absolutely.
And it's been an amazing experience. Each week we go down, and some weeks we just have a good time. We get stoned in a tunnel. No, but I joke about that. But the goal is to make friends, and they feel more accepting of us. Like first time we went to a tunnel without the expert, there's a guy named Matthew O'Brien. Shout out to Matthew O'Brien. Buy his book, Beneath the Neon. He's the one that brought attention to the tunnels in Vegas. He now lives in Central America. But first time we went down in the tunnels alone. It was without him. it was a lot scarier.
Right.
In fact, I'll just tell about that experience. So I brought our comedians. We went to the tunnel, and it happened to be night. Why do we do it at night? Because that's when people are off, and that's when we get our volunteers.
Absolutely.
And we walked up to the front of the tunnel. Luckily, I had met the gatekeeper. He's an old, nice guy, unfortunately an alcoholic. You know, he sits at the front of the tunnel. And I introduced our group, and I said, would it be okay if we went in? Well, if anybody knows the diva,
The diva.
we had the diva with us.
Oh my God.
And we entered the tunnel, and all of a sudden the diva started freaking out. I hope you're watching, diva. She's like, Lord Jesus! We're all gonna die in here! And we're like, Diva, you're from Detroit. You're supposed to have a little more street cred than this. You know, like, there ain't no dark tunnels in Detroit.
Oh my goodness.
And all of a sudden, we saw two beams of light come from deeper in the tunnel. Now, normal people turn around and leave at that
They
point, 'cause
run.
they don't know who it is.
Right.
We proceeded in. Well, I proceeded in because I had no common sense. And I walked up and. But the one thing I noticed, it was scary. Turned out to be two of the nicest people we met.
Oh wow.
But that's how life is. We all fear everything. We fear everybody. We fear, and that's what I've learned out here. We are in the darkest, scariest place. We deal with heroin addicts, meth addicts. We've seen baseball bats. We've had a butcher knife pulled on us. We came across a guy with the samurai sword last week.
Oh, I saw that post on the Tunnel Life page.
Well, I will
and
tell a little bit about him
You
because
didn't- oh my God!
Yeah,
because
because-
that picture,
Yeah.
and I'm going to share this picture over to the page. That picture, just the shot itself, looked like something out of a freaking horror
it was.
film.
Right?
It was. We're like,
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
so, and we've been out here every week since July, and this was the first time I felt like a little. A little. Well, what happened was first we saw him, and he was in all black, and he looked like the Grim Reaper. Not only was he wearing all black, but his shopping cart was all black.
Yes, man.
Like,
Yes, it was.
and you hear it creaking.
Oh.
You know, like that.
And that's the
horror-
only sound. That's the
that-
only sound you're hearing out there is the creaking of the wheel.
Yeah, yeah. And as he got closer to us, we happened to notice his hand was near a samurai sword.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
And we do have security, Justin Joe Brown. We're not going to have him with the Queens this week.
Oh, now you're telling me.
Now he tells us after we've already committed.
No, but
Now you're telling me.
no,
But you know
I better
what?
take it off.
I'm not afraid.
all kidding aside, this week we're going in a known tunnel. We're not going anywhere new. This is a new area. We're going in our family tunnel, the tunnel where we know the people very well.
good,
you know,
very
like-
good.
But so his hand was near the samurai sword, and about that point, most people would have that fear react. Our security. Did he have to crack out his weapons? No. He literally just leaned forward and went like this. I'm Justin. And the guy reached forward and shook his hand.
hand.
I gave the guy a pair of socks. He never said nothing. He just creaked on and kept eyeing us. But that's the point.
that's
Just
the
because
point.
they look scary, reach out and shake your neighbor's
Yeah.
hand. Don't
Yeah.
think because they look like they're about to murder you. Okay. Well, maybe have some common sense.
You know, I've been in TV and film way too long, Doc. I'm telling you now, because just looking at that picture, I'd have made it about that far and heard the creaking of the wheel, and in the back of my mind, I'd have heard the Halloween theme music, and I'd have turned around and been hauling my arse clean up out of there.
Yeah.
There's no way my arse would have stayed long enough to say, "Hi, how you doing?"
I do want to know what's been the most impacting scenario that you have run up on.
Maybe
down there.
maybe 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, Maggie and I, Maggie's one of our misfits, we stayed with one of our homeless women. She was talking about suicide, so we stayed there for a while because they're in those tunnels for days sometimes. They don't come out. So, when you're sitting in your house and you don't come out, you get depressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're humans. They go through the same motions that all of us do. So our mission is to go in there and bring some light to their life, some friendship. Getting to know these people as people. They're people just like the rest of us,
Right.
and they all have stories. So, that's our mission, is to go out there and really just to get to know them, because we don't just go and give them food and walk away. We get to know these people as people.
That's what I was going to ask too. A suggestion on, as I get ready to go in, what would be one of your suggestions? As the best approach.
Make friends.
Yeah.
friends, okay.
Make friends. Just make
Just like
friends.
you're going to a friend's house,
Yeah.
or you're being introduced to somebody's, because this is their homes, and we're not taking you with a creaky sword scene.
Right. Oh, thank you. I
That
appreciate
doesn't happen every week.
Maybe your second mission.
Right. No, I'm not even. I'm just looking forward to experiencing. I've heard so many things about this mission that you guys are on, and I'm looking forward to going in there live with you.
I'm jealous because I really want to go and I can't do the work, and I really want to go.
Yeah.
I have to put in notice like at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance before I can go.
Before you take
and
off,
I
yeah.
can be able to take off part of the evening.
So I do want to
but,
say
yeah.
they were awesome a couple weeks ago when they came out, and you definitely make friends pretty easy.
Pretty
Yeah,
easily.
we-
Yeah.
Now, I saw you singing karaoke,
I did too.
and she happened to be singing "I have friends in low places." She literally does now in tunnels beneath the script. Yeah.
Yeah, he made that comment. I didn't even think about that. It's like, yeah, now you definitely have friends in little tonto places. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
So yeah.
So as you notice, my wife, she's the serious one. I'm the idiot. So that's how we work pretty
It
well
works.
together.
It works
yeah.
great.
As long as they're a dynamic crew down in the tunnels together. I can tell you from being there, and it works. It just totally works. Yeah, if you guys, you can. Forgive me for whoever tried to call in a little while ago. I forgot to activate the line. Dumb blonde. I've told you that's about 1,000,000 times. So, yeah, if you want to call in, 702-776-9097 is the number, and you guys can ask questions and interact with Doc and his wife here. Otherwise, we're just going to continue yabbering on. sorry about that.
Yeah,
That's what we
that's
did.
good.
So what was it like for you, Lacey, when you went in?
I can say it was a very surreal experience for me the first time going down into the tunnel, and I definitely wouldn't have done it without Doc and Teresa being there. You know, I'm a brave soul, but I'm not gun brave. But you know, you go down into the tunnel. It's a surreal experience when you see the writing on the walls, especially, and some of the messages left behind by people.
Those were powerful.
And you get down in there and you think, well, you know, it's just because there was just a couple of guys sitting there against the wall to begin with their shopping carts. But the further we got down in there, the more you realize, oh my Lord, there's tents, there's homes set up in there.
Yep.
And that's just the way it was. It was like this was their real home, like you and I have a home. And you can tell they've been there for a long time. And this is where they have to live. And then, like she was saying, you know, the one that was thinking about committing suicide because she hadn't been out of the tunnel for days. And you got to keep in mind, it's pitch black dark in there. You can't see anything.
So
once
you
get
really
that
don't know
far
what time
in,
of day it is unless you have a watch or
exactly.
something.
Because once you get that far back in there, the daylight that's coming from the tunnel opening to begin with, it's not seen anymore.
Nope.
There's no light coming in at all. It was a wild experience.
Surreal's the first time I went down was February, and I remember thinking it was so surreal. It's really weird now. It's becoming normal.
Now it's a normal part
like
of
it's
life.
every weekly thing,
We're going to the
but there's
tunnel.
always something that just shocks me.
Exactly.
Every week. And if anybody does go to the Instagram page, Holy Smoke Misfit Missionary, she mentioned how dark it is. You may notice one picture that everybody thinks is a bad picture because it's black, but there's a little speck of light. That's a picture Maggie took from in the tunnel, and the speck of light is the exit.
Wow.
I believe that.
I've got to see that.
There hasn't been a
That
little
gives you a
lights on it because
perspective.
it just looks like a
A black thing, yeah.
I'm going to like it like crazy.
yeah.
Exactly.
I
And
love-
we'll post some of these pictures over so you can see them for sure.
And what does it smell like?
Oh, it smells. Well, some tunnels are smellier than others. What they do, this one tunnel that she's talking about, there's two sides. The one side smells a little bit, but the other, it doesn't smell too bad because they all use the other side for their bathroom.
The other side's the bathroom and one side's the...
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. See,
So-
you guys listen how serious that is. They're
That's pretty bad.
They're using the restroom outside. Oh my God, living in these tunnels, making the best out of it. We need toilet paper, y'all. We need
Exactly.
toilet paper.
That's it. We do. We need toilet paper.
I
Toilet
wouldn't
paper,
want
socks, underwear.
Socks,
I
underwear,
wouldn't
toilet
want to have to
paper.
go to the bathroom and not have tissue.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, for the
And that's a
aftermath.
good thing. It's ironic. We've been doing this for now a little bit since March, but consistently since July, and we have never thought about the toilet paper until now. Good job.
Yeah.
You
Well,
would think that would have been the
That's
one of the
something.
first
Hey,
things.
I'm a big girl and I need tissue. I'm
Donations.
just saying, yeah, we need those kind of donations
Yes,
for these
those kind of
families.
donations are really...
Donate a bunch of toilet paper, and if we have any left, we'll go out on Halloween next year.
And then the
Definitely.
hand sanitizers.
Yes,
Oh,
It's a
definitely.
huge thing too because you know that's feces and that's urine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm being real, y'all. Like I am not on a like. This is so real.
It is
So I'm
real.
just thinking about the
It
day-to-day
is.
processes that we as humans go through and that we have to, do. Everybody goes to the restroom. It doesn't
Everybody-
matter if
yes,
they're
they do.
homeless or not homeless.
Exactly.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Mary says, can we make a list and post it on
Yes.
the page?
Absolutely.
That's
Definitely.
We
Yeah,
absolutely,
will post it.
absolutely.
We will post a list on the page, Mary.
And
Good
if you
idea.
can think of anything, just write it in there.
Yeah, just
Write
write it
absolutely.
and add it on there.
Yeah, you can add to the comments on it, of course, and just add in stuff in there. And then need blankets and, of course, flashlights,
candles,
batteries. And if you got those wind-up flashlights or can find them cheap,
Yeah, they wind up and they
generator
yeah,
powered,
they generate
you know,
their own
type,
power.
they
You
would
don't
love
need
that,
batteries.
you know.
Yep. It's funny we mentioned batteries because this week our group's grown. I mean, not our missionaries are growing too, but so is our homeless community we're dealing with. So this week we're overwhelmed and we ran out of batteries. I'm sitting down with the MacGyver of the tunnel. You probably saw his camp.
I remember his camp.
And we're at Jack in the Box. We saw him at Jack in the Box, and we're like, I'm out of batteries. He's like, oh, I got 50 pounds of batteries. I'm like, what? I'm like, can you deal me 5?
It's a battery deal.
I'm buying batteries from a guy who lives in a tunnel. Don't know where he got it. I'm sure.
Not gonna ask.
Right?
It's like, I'm sure it was legal.
Well, I'm sure their system in there is like barter and exchange.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, where we have money exchange for different items or whatever, I'm sure their system is a lot differently. You learn
Yeah,
in those kind of scenarios to cope with things in a different way. So,
Yeah, they were doing the barter system down
Batteries.
there.
Oh,
for
yes.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you got the batteries, and somebody's got some food, it's going to be a,
Exchange.
Oh,
Yeah.
what I have in food costs, $5 or 5 batteries. That's the value that I put on it. And so, yeah, they're back to the barter system down there.
Right,
Yep.
and we kind of need to learn those kind of things because
I
in
instill the barter system.
in a case where the bank system fails or any of these economical systems fail, what are we going to do in times like
Exactly.
that?
Oh, absolutely.
And
This-
all you have is barter and
Barter.
exchange.
I've told that to the tunnel dwellers. We're here to help you, but when things go south, we may be coming to you.
Exactly, because they've got the stores of all this, that, and the other supplied,
And see, that's
So-
what I've been instilling with my homestead. I want to instill bartering. I instill bartering with my massage right now.
Exactly, yeah.
So, bartering's a good thing.
That's awesome.
It would
Absolutely.
save on a lot. I mean, a lot of people would, put down the phone and barter with somebody. Come on now. people.
Exactly.
You know.
And one of the best things you can do, it is Christmas time, and one of the best things you can do, above and beyond donating all the supplies, is reach down at the bottom of this little video feed here and hit that share button.
Share it out.
Share it to your page,
share.
share it to your wall, share it to the groups that you're involved in, and the more you share this and the more people see it, the more people that are going to donate. It's Christmas time, for Pete's sake. This is the one time of year that you really need to donate something. I know you got stuff sitting around in your closet that you don't need anymore, that you don't wear, you haven't worn all year, you probably never wear again. So go ahead and share the button and donate, because let's face it, they're not going to have a Christmas otherwise. We're having a great Christmas up here. We've done the Christmas party over the weekend.
Yes.
They had a comedy show. It was successful. Help the homeless by simply sharing. It takes about a second and a half, and I'm going to actually pick up my damn phone. It takes about a second and a half
Hold on, you're sideways. There you go.
to reach down there and hit that little button that says share. And then you just post it to your groups and to your pages, and you can even on one side of it invite your friends to watch the video. So you got to do that.
We are going out on Christmas Day at noon if anybody wants to volunteer.
There we go. Christmas Day at noon.
That
And
works.
so you can contact through us on the Morning Tea with the Queen's page, or you can go to Tunnel Life. Look up that page, Tunnel Life, and you can contact Doc and go out with them.
And now that she mentioned that, there's 3 pages we have. We have Tunnel Life. We also have Holy Smoke Misfit Missionaries. Tunnel Life is for the more conservative people. Holy Smoke is for the more
Relaxed.
Relax, people.
More
Exactly.
relaxed people.
Exactly.
And it's Holy Smoke Misfit Missionaries on Instagram and Facebook. The Holy Smoke Misfit Missionaries Instagram page with the pics that Maggie Hess does amazing photos for us. Thank you,
Yes,
Maggie
she does.
Hess.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, she
Maggie,
does.
you're awesome.
Thank you, Justin, for keeping us alive. He's
Absolutely.
the only one. Justin is the only. He has a security business. He's the only one stupid enough to protect a bunch of idiot comedians and
And he does a very
Well,
good
we
job
love
at
you,
it, so I'm
Justin.
not
We
going to
love
gripe. But he does.
You really do.
I didn't say he was the brightest guy.
He is definitely a nice, funny guy.
Yes, he is.
No,
Well, Julie-
Justin's awesome. We love Justin.
Yeah, we do. We love Justin to death. So Julianne Jackson, her mom, I hope you guys are watching. Teresa, would you grab the blankets for us, please? We got a lot of donations coming in, and these are handmade blankets that Julianne Jackson, her mom, made. We want to present them to you guys so you can look at them.
Handmade.
Handmade. They're
And it has
adorable.
pillowcases.
And I
There's
wanted to show
pillows.
you guys something. You guys can actually take the little squares here and write their Christmas cards for the homeless.
Cool.
So you guys would have a chance to write little notes onto here. And I'm going to give
Yeah,
one to each
notes.
of y'all because we could do this right after the show.
Yep.
And if you want, unfurl the blankets, go ahead and take a peek at them, show what we got.
Dude,
Hold on to
this.
it. and
This
you can-
one, it brings up a sad story. There was a dog
Remember,
that lived.
tell
in
the story.
There was a dog that lived in this tunnel. This tunnel runs underneath the strip. This particular tunnel, and first time we went down, we were pretty scared because the dog was new to the tunnel. It happened to be a pit bull, so obviously. We're not fearless, and he was or she was growling at us. But I noticed the tail was just twitching a little bit. So, and then Justin Joe Brown, our security, stepped up to the plate and pulled out his Del Taco. Del Taco saves lives, folks. So.
Del Taco saves lives.
Yes, that's your plug, Del Taco, if you're listening.
Yeah, Del Taco.
We could use a sponsor here.
Exactly. Hello, Del Taco. We need a sponsor.
So this is just one weekend in the tunnel. It was Tuesday we went down. Friday, I get a text from the lady who talked about killing herself because some of them have cell phones. You can get government phones. She texts me. She says the dog got loose, ran out on the strip, and was killed by a car. Because this is tunnels run underneath the strip. That was Friday. Come Sunday, I get a text from the same lady. It was the night of the massacre. This tunnel runs near
October 1st.
Yes.
October
Yes.
1st.
This tunnel runs near Mandalay Bay. The big gun SWAT came swarming the tunnel. Scared the shit out of the tunnels. Mind you, the tunnel dwellers scared the shit out of SWAT. I mean, you can't blame SWAT going in a dark tunnel because, hey, they were scared and they had guns. All we had was batteries and,
Batteries
some
and
food.
underwear and socks.
But luckily nobody was hurt and they were just evacuating the whole area. But that's just one weekend in a tunnel. One day the dog dies on the strip, next day SWAT swarming you out of a tunnel. But there are, I want to give, now that I've talked all about these depressing stories, I do want to talk about this guy named Irish.
Irish, yes.
His wife, who they've been separated, found us on social media back in Kansas due to a news story we recently had. And turns out his son had been murdered years ago, and that's how he got messed up, and that's how he ended up homeless. You know, he just lost it. That's the so first time we met him, he was carrying a baseball bat. That's pretty intimidating. Never judge a book by its cover, because this guy, reason he carried that baseball bat is he's the protector of the people in the community.
Right.
And there are some hardcore people. One guy they call Toxic, he likes to just torture homeless people out there. So Irish looks out for them. Irish has his own issues. You know, I'm not going to go into the personal issues, but yeah, he has his own issues. So we got him on a bus to Kansas thanks to some donations. He went home and had closure. And he now is back out here. He actually he's an old vet. He got on disability while he was back home. And now he has a check, and he's back out here to help us, and he's working in community.
Nice.
That is awesome. That is awesome. It's one of the better stories that you hear about.
Thank you for
One of
that.
the
It's
positive
amazing.
stories. That's another good positive story.
So I have a jar at home that I set up. So every night from my tips, I'm putting at least 25% of my tips in that jar to give to you guys to go out and get stuff for the homeless.
That is awesome.
And I encourage everyone. Why am I always the one I'm challenging you guys a lot. Come on now, step up to the plate.
It's kind of your bit. It's your shtick. It's your thing. You
It's
like
my
to
thing.
challenge
It's my stick.
people.
It's my thing. And I'm still waiting. You guys are gonna polar plunge with me, right?
Gonna do what?
Look at his face. What?
Do what?
Polar
We'll talk
plunge.
over
We're
here.
gonna jump in the pool, and that to start off the new year. And there's a hot tub you can climb right into it afterwards. But
Okay, I'll do it for a cause.
There you go.
I don't like cold. I'm from Florida. I lived in LA. I lived in Vegas. It's as cold as I want to get.
Yes.
But if you want me to jump in a cold pool for a cause, I'll do whatever.
I'm still recruiting.
Y'all are much
people.
braver
Come
than I am. That's for darn sure.
You're not jumping in a cold pool?
Not a chance.
Can I go change my mind? No,
I'm still wanting people to, do some weird stuff, jump in pools, skydive out a hot air balloon.
Okay, there
Hot
I'm
air
with
balloon
you.
company, come on, call me. So, yeah, but I want to, point out, you guys need to step up a bit. Do like I'm doing. It's like you got change every night when you come home. Everybody has change in the pocket. Put a jar on the counter. Put a little sign on it that says "Give to the homeless" on it, and put that change in there. And then they have those machines. What is it called? Coin
coin
stars.
machines, uh-huh.
They
Oh,
have
yeah.
them at Smith's, Walmart. I think there's a few gas stations. And just take it down there, cash it in, and you know what? Get a hold of one of us, or get a hold of the missionaries and everybody. We'll have the links on our page, and we'll be more than happy to connect with you and get that money and put that to use to buy toilet paper, batteries, socks, and everything.
Sure.
You know, so come on.
What is one of the biggest needs for
The
the
biggest.
family in the tunnels? What are some of the bigger needs that
The-
they have?
Right now, it's just keeping warm.
Yeah.
Which you
Keeping
gave
warm.
blankets today, jackets. Oh,
Also
actually
shoes.
shoes. We're-
Okay.
Actually, right now, it seems like shoes are the most desperate right
Yes.
Really?
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Remember that
Yeah,
one gentleman
shoes.
we met with the flip flops because he lost his
Yeah, and I
summer
do.
stone
And I
shoes.
have a bag ready for him.
Oh, you
ready to
got
go
it?
with shoes
Nice.
because he just happened to be the same size that I was.
I'm also going to be helping my aunt take care of some cleaning out of her closet. So I will be bringing some stuff for you guys as well.
now. Okay, and I'm just kidding. That was for the misfit. Forget that one.
Keep in mind, and I am going to point this out because it is true. There is a true statement that was just posted on here. Mikia says it's sad that the police will ticket you if you get caught handing out home cooked food to the homeless. And keep in mind that word home. So let me tell you a small secret. Tuesday nights when they meet up and go to the tunnels, you can always meet up. $20 buys $20 of McDonald's cheeseburgers at the dollar menu.
Exactly.
And it's not home cooked food. And guess what? They can't ticket you for that
Can't
because
ticket you
you
for
did
that?
not cook
My
it
wife
yourself.
cooks good, and we're okay with the ticket.
And if you guys want to cook, there's another one going out this morning who's taking a big pot of bean and rice. She was just posting about that.
She's
headed
going
out
to
today.
the
So
women's-
if you want to home cook a meal and help bring the food out,
That brings up beans and rice. Brings up another. This past week was definitely one of our unusual nights. So we came across this one camp, and this guy had his mouth covered, and he wouldn't say anything to us. We were like, we had beanie weenies. We were like, we got beanie weenies, and he just kept circling us with crazy eyes.
straight up like that. You're looking like Count
It was like-
Vampire, you know.
It was like,
And then finally, one of our missionaries, Gabriel's like, well, maybe we were just about to leave. Justin Joe Brown's finally, our security's like, you gotta say something, because we kept offering him. You gotta say something, not to be weird. And he just kept circling, and finally one of our guys said, well, maybe he's mute. And then he goes, beanie weenies. That's all he said the whole night.
swear.
Oh, my Lord. That is hilarious.
Maybe
So-
he had a
so
beanie weenie nightmare or something.
So we gave him a plate of beanie weenies and a blanket, and it was we were parked in a dead end of a cul-de-sac, and he laid the blanket on the ground and set the beanie weenies plate on the ground and walked away. And we drove away. We left it there. We don't know if he ever got the beanie weenies. But
Oh, my Lord.
that's our beanie weenie story.
Yeah.
So remember, y'all can home cook meals and meet up with the guys Tuesday nights with the Misfit Missionaries. They meet at the Hampton Inn over on
Hampton and Tropicana, D-Mart.
yeah.
Tropicana and D-Mart. I lost my street names for a moment there. But you can always bring home cooked meals out there, bring the blankets, bring everything. They meet up at roughly 7 o'clock, correct?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, Hampton Inn. Meet up over there and help bring Christmas to the homeless. Remember, these people have nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
The Queens and the Misfit Missionaries are on a mission, and you guys want to know what that mission is?
To help the homeless.
Beyond to help the homeless. Remember, it's Christmas time, so you know what the mission is?
What's the mission?
I'm going to deck the tunnels with bells of holly. Fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay